All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi, Whittaker versus Rainer to Ritter has just ended, and this is going to be my full card post-fight reactions. Starting off with the first fight of the night, Martin Budai versus Marcus Buchecha. Marcus Buchecha really had Budai looking like a world beater in there. Outside of the second round, Buchecha had nothing to offer. Budai with the pressure and pace, which is crazy to say for a fat heavyweight. The pressure and pace of Martin Budai is what won in the fight. He got out-grappled in the second round. Buchecha had the control time with the grappling. Other than that, was not really too close on most occasions of getting his takedowns. Like, he just didn't set him up very well. The striking didn't look very good in this fight. I think there might have been one point where he landed a good shot that stunned Budai. But other than that, Buchecha didn't really have much success. And it's heavyweight. That's like the least skilled division in the UFC of men's divisions. Moving up the card, this fight was crazy. We had Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Nwai. They said it. I don't remember how to say it. How do they say it? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Stephen. First of all, in the first round, I believed Yahya got dropped like 4 or 5 different times. There were so many spots during that first round where Jason Herzog could have stopped it and should have stopped the fight, but he didn't. I think they officially gave Steven 6 knockdowns in the fight, which is the most in UFC history. It should have been 7. There was a 7th knockdown in there. I think they call it a slip. It was not a slip. It was a knockdown, I'm pretty sure. They must want this guy to die. It got stopped from between the second and third round. First round was a 10-8, easy. He dropped him so many times, 10-8. Second round, Yahya actually dropped, kind of stunned. Not really dropped him, stunned. Steven, he was gassed out from throwing all that volume in the first round. Made it more competitive in the second round. And to be fair, every time he would get dropped and get hurt, he would still come up and push forward and try and get Steven out of there and throw haymakers at him to try to get some respect back from him. But I had Steven up on both rounds, 10-8 in the first one, and then they stopped it. His eye was so swollen in between. I was going to see if I could just find a picture on my phone real quick. But in between the second and third round, they stopped it. It was too much. I'm not seeing a picture. But, I mean, he could not see out of his eye. You couldn't see his eye. It looked like there was just a big ball on his face right there. So, good on the doctors for stopping that fight, or the ref. It might have been the ref. I don't know who it was. But definitely needed to be stopped. That's for damn sure. Especially, like, I think one of the last times that Steven dropped Muhammad Yahya, I was like, why did the ref not stop this fight? Doesn't make any sense. Moving up the card. Oh. We have Iblo Aslan versus Billy Elikana. This fight was absolute dog shit. Worst fight on the card. Absolute atrocious. They essentially did nothing for 3 rounds besides like smile at each other and laugh. And Aslan, after the fight was over, acted like he won when he essentially did nothing for 3 rounds. Like Elikana, the only reason he won was because he landed like a couple more shots in every round than Aslan. This fight was garbage. This fight was boring. Cut both of them from the UFC. I don't want to watch either one of these guys fight. Absolutely atrocious. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Fuck them both. Moving up, Amanda Hebos versus Tabitha Ritchie. Oh, and on that last fight, just one quick note. Actually, never mind. I'm thinking of a different fight. This fight, though. Scorecards are a little stupid. I know she won via second round TKO. Tabitha Ritchie did. First round, she's going forward, somewhat attempting to implement the grappling, but Hebos is lighting her up on the feet, landing good shots on the feet in the first round. Somehow, I don't know how, 2 of the judges gave Tabitha Ritchie the first round. I thought it was a very clear round for Amanda Hebos. She was landing the better of the shots. Tabitha Ritchie was just holding her up against the cage, doing no damage when she was holding her up against the cage in the first round. It has to be for control time. That's the only thing I can think of is why the judges gave her those first 2 rounds. 2 of the judges gave her the first round. Strictly control time up against the cage. Very boring, kind of shitty fight. Probably the second most boring fight on the card. I can think off the top of my head up until the finish, of course. Apparently, which we didn't get to hear it because there was, we had to watch commercials. But in between the first and second round, her corner, Richie's corner, was telling her when she has her up against the cage, do up elbows. She's significantly shorter than Amanda Hebos, so those are going to work out great for her. They did. She hit her with one, hurt her, and then I think she slammed 2 more, really hurt Amanda Hebos. Amanda Hebos just crumpled to the floor, and Tabitha Ritchie finished her via TKO in the second round. I'm trying to think of how, what do I take away from this fight? I thought she was losing the fight, if I'm being honest. Up until she won the fight, I really didn't think she was doing too good in that fight. Really struggling to get the takedowns. It seemed Hebos was way stronger than her in there. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Good, decent win for Tabitha Ritchie. Where does she go from here? Let's see what her rank's going to be. She'll be... That doesn't even have it on there. I think Amanda Hebos is 10 or something like that in the division. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Moving up the card. This was a good fight. Glad I got this one right, my prediction. We have Davy Grant versus Damon Blackshear. I'm pulling up scorecards real quick. If I passed it, here it is. So first round, clear Damon Blackshear round. Was able to get Davy Grant down. Had a lot of good control time. Held the back. At one point, had a rear naked choke set in. It was over the face of Davy Grant, so kind of like a face crank, more or less. So clear round for Damon Blackshear. Wasn't a 10-8, although we had control time over the entirety of almost the whole first round. It was probably 30-ish seconds into the first round. He wasn't doing crazy amount of damage. He wasn't getting really close with the submission attempts. Grant was really good at scrambling around. Pretty much the second and third round, Grant was able to keep it on the feet. Damon Blackshear could not implement the grappling, which is why I thought David Grant would have good enough takedown defense and would be able to pepper him on the feet. And that's just what he did for what Robert Whittaker needed to do in the main event. It's kind of what Davy Grant did do in his fight. Peppered him up and down, defending the takedowns, hitting good shots, keeping his hands low. He did get clipped a few times because he did have his hands low, getting ready to stuff the takedowns that for Blackshear that he was going to shoot on him. But yeah, very clear second and third round for Davy Grant. I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight winning streak right now. So he's pretty close to getting ranked opposition. One more decent win, and we might see Davy Grant fighting someone in the rankings. But what they're probably going to do, I don't know who, but they're probably going to get some up and coming contender, and they're going to give him to Davy Grant and see if he can pass the Davy Grant test. That's just what they do. Blackshear was in a similar position. If he were to get a win over Davy Grant, he might have been looking at ranked opposition in his next fight, but he is not. Moving up the card. This was a good one. I got this one wrong. We have Muslim Salihal versus Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal gets knocked out in the first round by Muslim Salihal. Muslim's got really good power. There's not much else to say about that. Leal had his hands down like he did in all of his other fights. What did he throw? He threw something. Left himself completely open. Got knocked the fuck out in the first round. Nothing else to say about that. You have to keep your hands up. You can't just have your in the Morono fight, he was just taking the shots from Alex Morono. Even in the what's that guy's name? I don't remember the guy. It's got the beard. We're not Fakradinov. Even though they're not fight, keeping his hands down. I don't know if the steroids are wearing off or if Muslim Salihov's power is just that good. But when you're completely exposed, and he essentially landed the perfect right hand to finish the fight. Good win for Muslim Salihov. I know Leal's only had he's 1-2 in the UFC. I still think he's a solid opponent. Calls out Wonder Boy. I would love to see that fight. I think Muslim Salihov versus Wonder Boy would be a great fight. Do it at the end of the year, December. Loser retires. Probably. They're both, I think Wonder Boy's 42 and Muslim Salihov's 41, if I remember correctly. But yeah, solid, great fight. and solid win from Muslim Salikhov. Moving up the card, the featured prelim. We have Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. I'm pretty sure all the judges were unanimous in this fight. Let's see. Yes, they were. First round, clear for Said Nurmagomedov. Drops Bryce Mitchell in the first round. Mitchell, clear right off the bat. Mitchell's looking for that grappling, looking to push a pace. And I think he's doing decent in the first round. I have him not much, just slightly ahead. And then Said Nurmagomedov hits him with the knee as he's kind of going in for a takedown. Drops Bryce Mitchell. Couldn't get the finish, though. Does end up on top the rest of the round, if I remember correctly. So first round, clear for Said Nurmagomedov. Second and third round, Bryce Mitchell just was able to implement the grappling, hold Said down, and Said was not able to get back up most of those times. I think usually once Bryce was able to get him down, he was able to hold him down for most of the round. What lost him the third round, Said Nurmagomedov, there was a moment. I think Bryce went for a takedown. I can't remember if he got it and then Said reversed position, or if Said just defended the takedown and Bryce ended up on bottom. If Said Nurmagomedov would have just let him up, there was, I think, 2 or 3 separate times in the fight where Said was on top and Bryce was able to reverse. I don't understand why you would want to stay in that position. You're able to get reversed multiple times, and when he's in control, he's pretty much controlling you. Why are you there? Let him up. Said had a cut, one close ninja choke, or maybe it was a guillotine attempt, but Bryce was able to get out of it. Really what won Bryce this fight was just the control. He didn't do a whole lot of damage. Did go for some submissions a few times, and I can't remember if it was the second or third round. He was holding Said Nurmagomedov in a head and arm choke, kind of just waiting, trying to get it, and that was probably for a minute and a half. So Bryce Mitchell gets a win in his bantamweight debut. I don't know how he's going to do at bantamweight. I really don't. He looked frail, weak. His cardio didn't look very good in this fight. I don't know how he's going to do. Said Nurmagomedov is a very solid opponent, and I think it's a good win. But I think if you get someone with better takedown defense and the same or even a little worse on the feet than Said Nurmagomedov, I think Bryce is probably going to lose. If I pull up the rankings, I don't know if it's going to switch over. Probably won't load immediately, of course. I just don't see... Maybe I'll make a video about it. I'll probably make a video about it. I don't know. But we'll move on to the main card. Opening up the main card, we have Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov gets it done via first round KO. Krylov was actually looking decent in this fight. Guskov being patient. Just similar to the Reyes fight, Krylov left himself open, and Guskov waiting, and bam, hit him. Perfect shot. Drops Krylov. I can't remember if he was out cold. I think it was more of a TKO. I don't remember. I think it was more of a TKO from Guskov. But great win from Bogdan Guskov. Should be looking at someone higher up the rankings in his next fight. I think this will get him into the top 10. But definitely looking for someone higher ranked in his next one. Looked good in this fight. At first I really thought Krylov was doing good. Was doing good in this fight. But at first I thought maybe, I don't want to say that Krylov was too much for Guskov, but it just looked like Guskov was being hesitant. Obviously, like he said in his post-fight, he was just being patient, waiting, wanted to find the perfect moment. But sometimes when guys look for that perfect moment, they just never find it, and then they end up losing the fight. So that didn't happen in this one. Good win from Bogdan Guskov. Moving up the card, got this one wrong. Asul Almabaya versus Jose Ochoa. Almabaya with the grappling. Essentially, on the feet, Ochoa doing better on the feet, landing better on the feet. But it was the grappling of Asul Almabaya that won in this fight. I had Asul Almabaya winning all 3 rounds. I think one judge gave, one judge gave the last round to Jose Ochoa. I think that was probably, if you're going to give him a round, it would be the 3rd round. But other than that, it was just, Almabaya had the control time. He was able to consistently shoot the takedowns, hold him up against the cage, get him down. Ochoa pop back up, but he would get him back down. So I don't know how much to read into these numbers here that the UFC has on their website. I did feel like Jose Ochoa was landing more on the feet, and the impact of the shots was greater, but they were far and few between because Alibi would just consistently shoot in for takedowns and control Jose Ochoa. So Alibi calls out Van in his post-fight, especially if Van, if he loses, okay, maybe that's fine. But if he wins versus Pantoja, I'm assuming that's what's going to be next for Joshua Van. That's kind of what it seemed like. He does not deserve to fight for the title. So, yeah. But other than that, I think if Jose Ochoa can work on his takedown defense more, work out getting out from the cage more, I think he will do better. He's young, so he has time to improve, time to learn. But a decent fight all the way around. Moving up the card, we have Sher Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barrow. I believe all three judges gave all 3 rounds to Sher Magomedov. Yep, that's how I had it. Very good fight. Had to fight through some adversity in this fight. In the second round, I think Marc-Andre Barrow stung Sher Magomedov with an uppercut. Hurt him. Had him stunned. Couldn't get him out of there. But yeah, Marc-Andre Barrow kind of had a somewhat grappling game plan going into this fight, you could tell. Pressuring forward, going for takedowns, going for clinch. But in those positions, Magomedov doesn't give up. Like when he's in the clinch, he's throwing elbows, throwing knees. He's looking for stuff and constantly fighting to get out of those positions. So he never settled. Even though he was getting backed up and chased the whole fight, he didn't settle. He kept going forward. Had good low kicks throughout the entirety of the fight. Good body kicks as well. Didn't do anything. Nothing really surprised me out of this fight. I kind of thought Sher Magomedov was going to go out there and get him out of there like later on in the fight, but he didn't end up doing that. But a very dominant win for Sher Magomedov. Very clear win. Decent opponent in Marc-Andre Barrow. Moving up the card, the co-main event, we have Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Yan absolutely outclassed Marcus McGee. Almost made him look like he didn't even belong in there. First round was the most competitive round. Did any of the judges give the first round to Marcus McGee? That'd be the only round you could give him. All 3 judges had the first round for Marcus McGee. Did I tweet out live? I'm pretty sure I tweeted out live that I did not have. I gotta look because I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I gave Yan the first round. Easy. I thought it was a very clear round for Petr Yan in the first one. Obviously not. I thought he did better damage. Like I said, that's probably the most competitive round. McGee did land some good shots that round. I just thought Yan landed the better ones and had more volume as well. I think in the first round, McGee was pressuring a little bit more, so maybe that's why. The strikes were probably pretty similar in the first round, but McGee moved forward more. That's probably why the judges gave him the first round, or they're just stupid like most of the time. But second and third round, Yan hurt McGee several times. Not super badly, but clearly stunned him, but just poured it on him. Like the entirety of the second and third round. Third round, getting a couple trips. Got accredited for at least one of them. But yeah, that just shows there are levels to this game. Petr Yan in his, I guess, post or pre-fight interviews, we're talking to the commentary team saying that there are levels of this game. He's going to show Marcus McGee that there were levels to this game, and he did. Went out there, absolutely shut down the game of Marcus McGee. McGee looked game, though. He didn't look bad in this fight. I think Jan's just a high enough level above Marcus McGee. I still think McGee's probably a top 15 bantamweight. And maybe we could do him and Davey Grant next. That might be a fun fight. Moving up the card, main event. We have Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder. Reinier de Ridder gets it done via split decision. I'm going to go ahead and let's break down these scorecards real quick. First of all, let's talk about my scorecard. First round, I thought it was a clear Robert Whittaker round. Landed the better of the shots. De Ridder wasn't able to get him down or anything in the first. I thought, okay, that was a clear Whittaker round. Second round, Reinier de Ridder comes back good. Landed good knees to the body. I think that's probably what won him this fight. that's as tired as Whittaker looked in that 5th round. I think it's probably the knees to the body from DeRitter that zapped the gas tank of Whittaker. Landed good knees in the 2nd round. Got control time in the 2nd round. Whittaker was smart. Didn't give up any like obvious submissions or anything like DeRitter expected him to. So I have it 1-1 going into the 3rd round. 3rd round, Whittaker drops RDR. Then halfway through the round, I think it's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, DeRitter gets Whittaker down and is able to hold him there the entirety of the 2nd round, but doesn't do a whole lot with it. So I gave Robert Whittaker the 3rd round. When I said 2nd, that was the 3rd round. But he expended a lot of energy trying to finish Rainer DeRitter. He almost had him out of there. The lengthiness of DeRitter's legs and arms was really keeping Whittaker back and hindering him from getting that finish in that 3rd round. I think if this was like a more normal-ish sized person, like maybe like 6'2", shorter legs, shorter arms, I think Whittaker would have been able to get in there and finish them at that moment. But just he's got really good with his frames, DeRitter does. So I have that round for Whittaker. So we're going into the 4th round. Whittaker's looking tired. RDR's looking a little tired, but Whittaker's looking pretty tired. RDR marching him down, marching forward. Again, landing more knees to the body, clinching up against the cage. There's a lot of clinching up against the cage. But RDR, consistent looking for the trips. I'm trying to remember if he maybe got him a couple times in the fight. Not a whole lot, though. But continuing to move forward, at least. So I gave the 4th round to RDR. Had it 2-2 going into the 5th round. In that 5th round, RDR did the same thing he did in the 4th. Marched Robert Whittaker down. Had a little bit more success on the feet in the 5th round. I think Whittaker was really tired from those knees to the body. Didn't fold like a bitch like Bo Nickel, though. And just got outworked in the 5th round. Got held up against the cage and pitter-pat shotted. RDR wins. I don't see. Let's see what Judge gave. So Mike Bell scored 1, 3, and 4 for Robert Whittaker. Without going back and rewatching the 4th round, just going off of memory, I thought it was a pretty clear RDR round. Landing good shots to the body, had control time up against the cage. Whittaker was landing some stiff jabs throughout the entirety of this fight. Like, he had good pop in his jabs, but he just wasn't putting enough combinations together. He needed to put more combinations together. He needed to move better and stay off the cage. And it was really hard to. There were several times where Whittaker was punching him up, and RDR was just marching forward, kind of like this, just walking forward like a damn zombie almost. Good win from Rainer DeRitter. Probably gets a title shot next. Like, it's going to depend on who's ready for what. So we have, what is it, 16th of next month? Is that when it is? Let's see. Yeah, so the 16th of next month, we have Dricus versus Hamzat. Whoever wins the Imavov-Barajo fight is kind of in line for a title shot next, but that's not till Paris, which I think that's in September, which I know is just the month after August. But Rainer DeRitter will probably be ready quicker than the winner of that fight. So, we're going to have mid-August, we're going to have Dricus du Plessis versus Hamzat Chimaev. I think Chimaev will probably win that fight, but it wouldn't surprise me if Dricus du Plessis wins. And then I think RDR would probably be ready to turn around like January, February, depending on when the winner of that fight wants to fight. But to be honest, I think both Dricus and Hamzat beat Rainer DeRitter. I think Dricus and Hamzat beat both Imavov and Barajo. So no matter who wins next month, I don't see any of the three main people coming up at middleweight right now being able to win the championship. But overall, good fight. Solid performance from Rainer DeRitter. Did what he needed to do to get it done over Robert Whittaker. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of this fight? Who did you think won? Did you have it for Whittaker or did you have it for DeRitter? Let me know down below. Make sure to subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. Drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.